Welcome to Mart's Garage. Hello, welcome to Mart's Garage. What you can see on my table is, I'm not going to say a pair of carburettors, 2 carburettors and a base from a carburettor. I think this is one that I bought relatively recently. It says model 2129 and it says Ford USA and 94. For those not familiar, it's the diameter of the Venturi in thou, 940 thou. I don't know what it is exactly, it's 15/16, but this is a 94. I've never looked inside this carb. I bought this at the swap meet last year, so it's completely unknown to me. I'm not sure about this carburettor. It's quite dirty and a little bit knocked about, and it's obviously been apart a few times. It looks quite old. It's got a little bit of wear on the shaft. This one isn't too bad, to be honest. Now, I think I may have been in this carburettor before. I may have ran this on my coupe, and I have a feeling that it didn't run very well. Do you know why I'm saying it was on my coupe? Because can you see that screw has been changed for a bolt? That's got a bolt in it, and that's a screw. The reason for that is that you can, if you're running a twin carb setup and you want to take the carbs off, you can leave the bases in place. You can undo the 2 screws and you can undo that hex-headed bolt from above. You can undo that with a spanner and take the bodies off and leave the bases undisturbed so that you don't lose the setting on the throttle shafts. So I think I've been in that, but I honestly don't know. I haven't labelled it as such. It's quite dirty. So what I thought I would do is basically rebuild both of these carbs. Now, when I say rebuild, a sort of Mart rebuild, basically strip them down, make sure nothing's blocked up, make sure everything's working, reuse anything that can be reused and replace anything that needs replacing. Now this one, actually they are both very similar. They've both got that hole there. See that hole? There, look. They've both got the hole, so they're both very similar. I don't need to, but yeah, who knows? I might put twin carbs in at some point. Now this one here, this doesn't want to move. This moves, but it won't go further, so I suspect that this is seized here, that bit there. This one moves freely, look, see. Okay, so that is just an introduction to an upcoming job, which will be to strip, clean and reassemble. I was going to use the word reassemble rather than rebuild these carbs, but what I will do is I will point out some of the common areas that can give trouble. I'll bring you back when there's a bit more to show, when I've made some progress. Hello again. Right, I'm going to take this apart. Hope you can see okay. I'll try not to talk when I'm just undoing nuts and bolts, because I can speed the footage up then, can't I? I was a little bit, can you see down in there? Can you see down in there? Can you see there's a set of screws in there? That's interesting, isn't it? Especially as the ones in the carb are all nudged up. Not a rubber tip. On these, you press them in, turn them 90 degrees and bring them off like this. In, 90, and then it should come off. That is a quarter UNF, so if you get a quarter UNF hex bolt that's long, you can cut it down to that size and replace it with a hex bolt. I didn't expect that to come off then. I was going to take that off, but okay, that'll do. Yeah, that's actually okay. Be interesting to see what it feels like once it's been in the ultrasonic cleaner. Can you see how the gasket has shrunk? There's a little detent in the bottom of that, and it clicks into that groove there. That looks blocked. You have to blow these out. Maybe prod it out with a piece of wire. This might be a bit more crudded up than I thought, because I've got to get that piece out from there. 1 inch. It's moved, look, which is a good sign. Right, go get them out. And the jets. I've got a couple of tools that are made for doing these. This was made from like a joke hammer, and that's designed to fit these. Fits nice. Fits good, you know. Could do with another one there, couldn't you? So you could do it like that. But once you've got it loose, you can just use any screwdriver in it. Okay. This is another tool I made, and it's a special screwdriver to go inside the in there and into the jet. That's actually a bit tight in that jet. It's gone into that one okay, look, so that's in that jet now. A little bit tight on that other one. Oh, I've got a hammer here, look. Just a little tap to get it well in, you know. That was okay actually, it wasn't tight. So yeah, a couple of little tools that look very good. Yeah, I'm not at all convinced about this, because in the bottom of there is something that needs to come out as well. What there should be is a metal clip and a ball bearing. That's freed up a little bit now. I'll put some oil on it and try and pull it out. I'll put it all in the ultrasonic cleaner. So there we are, there's all the component parts of the carb. I think this might do for this as well actually. All your fuel has to go through that tiny little hole there, look. Okay, I'll put them in the wash then and bring you back. Right, I've just fetched this lot out of the sonic cleaner. I think I might put all these small parts in here. Right, there's two things that need to come out of here. One of them is that check valve that's down there, and one of them is a ball bearing that's down the bottom of there. So I'm trying to get down there. There's a metal clip. Okay, I don't know if you can see down there. I have managed to hook under the clip. There it is. Now the thing is, does that ball want to come out? Look, can you see? It's in my glove. Can you see? Look, came out. Amazing. A little bit surprised at that. Okay. So, first success there then. The ball came out. I am actually really surprised at that. Okay, I've got to get that piece out of there now. Got no chance have I? I've got to try and get air into that, not the hole where the ball was, but the other hole. Blow down there and it'll come up there. How am I going to do that? I'll try putting a bit of rubber hose on there. And we're going to make sure that goes in the right place. Oh, I think it's in the hole. What I was thinking was, if I put oil in there like that and put this in here, this could get a bit messy, couldn't it? Okay, prepare for a mess. Oh, look, it's come up. Can you see? It's come up. Bloody hell. Oh, there we are. There we are. Look at that. Wow. That was something a bit, you know. How about that then? It came out. Brilliant. I am as shocked as you are. Right, let's go and drain this oil off. Ah, brilliant, 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 brilliant. Bloody hell. Okay, I'm going to go and run this piece on its own in the washer. Did I take the ball bearing out? Oh, I bet I've lost it. I forgot about the ball bearing, but it doesn't matter because I've got a kit and there's, you know, ball bearings in there. Okay, good. I can blow through that. That's not blocked at that end. I'm a little bit out of my comfort zone with these. Don't really know what I'm looking at, but I can see there's a jet there. These gloves have had it. And there's a hole there, and there's a hole there. There's 4 holes there. And there's obviously a passage that goes down there. And down there. In fact, 2 passages that go down there. One high up. And one low down. Okay. These weren't mega tight. Yeah, blow through that one as well. Not blocked. Okay. I feel like I've done enough today. I'm going to leave it at that. It might just be actually a reassembly of this. I don't intend to use these type of things. I don't think they're recommended with the, you know, the ethanol in the petrol. But it was it was useful for getting that thing out, wasn't it? Is that it? That was great, wasn't it, the way it got that out of there. Really pleased with that. And I'll come out tomorrow and I'll do a bit more. I have a feeling that this one has been modified there to give it a square corner. I think I did that in the lathe to make that fit on there nice. What I could also see is that this surface has been lapped, and this surface here has probably been lapped as well, to give a nice flat surface there, because if that surface is bowed and this surface is bowed, and you get an air leak there, pardon me, you've got vacuum pulling on there, and if you've got an air leak in there, into that chamber there, you've got vacuum sucking down there, down that port. If you got an air leak through the sides here into there, the vacuum will not pull the power valve closed, and if the vacuum isn't pulling the power valve closed, you run over rich, and that is one of the reasons why a 94 will run over rich. And you know, you're winding these in, and you wind them in and you wind them in, and it still runs. It's because the power valve is allowing fuel through there. That reluctance of the screw to come out means that this hole is kind of wallowed in at the top. So it's worth putting a drill through it to get rid of that. So there we are, there's the second carb. So there we are, there's the second carb stripped down. I just went to the other carb in the ultrasonic cleaner, and first thing I did, I took the float and I pushed it underneath the surface to see, because it was hot. I pushed it under the surface, thinking, well, it's hot, the air inside will have expanded. If there's a hole in the float, it will bubble out. And the other thing I did, I freed off that rod that was stuck, and I pulled that out, so something's happening. There's a tiny bit here that looks like it hasn't been touched, so I might need to do another pass. Okay, I'll take another 5 there, because as far as I can tell it hasn't touched there and it hasn't touched here. I wouldn't be too bothered about this on its own, because this is where the bolt is, so the bolt would pull that up. But it hasn't touched along there in the middle. So does that look okay? I think it looks alright, doesn't it? Okay, I'll go and clean this up and deburr it, and I'll bring you back in a minute. Hello. Right, I've just been doing a little bit of work off camera, and this is the carb body that I put on the milling machine, and you can see it's done a nice job of trimming up those faces. And I went to the wire wheel and kind of just brushed over the faces to take any burrs off, and I've blown it all out, and I'm starting to get ready to put it back together. I took all these metal pieces and wire wheeled those as well. And what I've just done, I've took this set of welding nozzle cleaners and just used them to probe all the holes in this casting. There's a hole there, there's a hole there, and there's a hole there. There's a hole there, there's a hole in the side of that piece, and there's a hole in the end of it. I use different sizes obviously, and there's a hole there and a hole there, and there's a hole across that piece and a hole in the end, and I've probed them all and made sure that they're all free. There, okay, so I've put those back in, I've put those back in, I've put everything back in. So I'm just kind of working my way forward to putting these in now. There's a little lump there that stops you putting them in the wrong side, and the lump goes towards the middle there. But I haven't put any gaskets in yet, but I'm kind of just going through it to make sure that everything's okay. Now listen, I must state, I'm not a carb rebuilder. I'm not building this for somebody else, I'm building this for me. I don't know how to get this all spotlessly clean in here. I don't know how to deal with the cosmetics. I'm just dealing with the functionality. So there's two of these plates, and they are the same, I think. Okay. Now I have got a carburettor kit, so I'm going to get that so I can use whatever gaskets I need. I see it has one of those blue ones in it. Maybe I'll just try that and give it a go. I think in this bag are the little black gaskets that you use to go there, there, there and there, so I'll get those out. I just had a thought. Pardon me. I can't put that one on because of the thing that has to go there, but I can put this one on. So there we are, two shorter screws and the washers, and they go in there. So what I'll do, I'll look for these parts now. Okay, so that piece, which looks like a carburettor float, but it's not a carburettor float. This is that piece that was stuck. I might just see if I can just polish it a bit with a wire wheel. Okay, so there's that piece. Just cleaned it up a little bit. That goes down there like that. I can see that hole I can see that that hole is open and that up hole appears to be a little bit blocked. I think it's alright, not 100% sure. Okay, let's put a new gasket on it. Okay, that one will do. So that goes in like that so it can squirt downwards. The metal bar goes over the top. And the screws go in with the little washers on. Now that I've got all four, I'll tighten them up. Now I suppose we could put the little ball bearing in, couldn't we? So there should be a little ball bearing somewhere in this packet. There's a ball bearing. Right, so that goes down the bottom in that hole. There. Hope you can see. Down the bottom of that hole. Now, they appear to have given me a clip that looks like that. I do appear to have got it across where the ball is sitting to stop the ball popping out. So now when I shake this, you should hear two things rattling. So that's that. So let's put the main jets in then. There's one. Now I looked at these and they're a number 50, which is sort of one of the stock jet sizes. No, I wasn't forcing that through, I was just making sure it wasn't blocked. Just going to blow it. I was going to say 2 would be nice. I don't suppose a professional car builder would be wearing gloves with bits of rubber falling off them, do you think? You know, just a hunch I've got. Okay, good little tool that. Right, what's next I wonder? What do you reckon, put this in? I'll clean this up so hopefully it should go up and down in there. Okay now. Yeah, it's okay. Well, that looks like a leather one. Maybe a slightly used one, but it looks okay. Stuff it, I'll use that. Okay, so that can go in there then. Imagine a bit of oil might not be a bad idea on that. Suppose you could just put them together, couldn't you, and just put them in one go. Right, so there's that. So that goes in there. Just drop it in. Okay, nice. Power valves. Okay, that is a power valve. That is not a power valve. That is something to do with the ignition, the vacuum signal for the ignition. And it goes in a port on the carb, on the later carbs. Is that one there? No. Goes in a port, so I don't use that. Okay, so this is the power valve, and that's the old power valve. Yeah, okay, I'm not sure about that. What I might do, I might use this power valve because this is one that I've already modified. This was in another carb. Yeah, that one feels okay. So the question is, which gasket do you use? Yeah, I'm going to try that triangular one. All you can do is try things, isn't it? If you feel like you're having problems, then you investigate. Okay. 1 inch. You don't want to go too mad with these because you can snap them off. I had one that was cracked. So there's the power valve sitting in the bottom of the float pole area. And so just so you kind of understand, the power valve is open, but when you get a vacuum over above a certain level, it closes it, stops the fuel going in. So when you're cruising along at a certain level of vacuum, the power valve is closed. As you put your foot down, the vacuum drops and the power valve opens and lets the extra fuel through. So that chamber there is vacuum. You got vacuum there, comes through that hole, you got vacuum in there, and you've got the power valve there. There shouldn't be any fuel this side of that cavity. There shouldn't be any fuel in there. It's a vacuum cavity. If when you take the top off your carb and you look and you've got fuel in there, either this has ruptured or your gasket is not sealing, one or the other. Should never be fuel in there. Okay. There's some holes in this as well, aren't there? And they are linked into, they're drilled at a very shallow angle, so you've got to go in at a shallow angle like that. There. Okay, so that's gone in, so that's good. And they're linked into that passage and these ones down here. So let's get a gasket out of the kit then. That one is a small one and that one's a big one. Can you see the difference? There's an extra passage there. Oh no, there's not. Sorry, I lied. That's for the bigger carbs. This isn't a big carb, this is a small one. So that fits like that. And then you can put the base on. What I think I'm going to do, I'm going to nick this bolt that I made for the other carburettor that I stripped down. I'm going to put that in there. Right, let's nick one out of there. I'm using the other carb as a sort of a parts carb in some ways. I want to put two carbs together, but for the purpose of moving the video along, I'll just take little shortcuts where necessary. The lighter carbs, like the ones on my Roadster, have Phillips screws in them. Hello. Right, okay, the camera stopped working, so I've carried on a little bit and I'll show you what I've done. Basically, you've got this little arm that goes in there, which you sort of start it in there, in this bit, get it lined up with, I normally start with the middle hole and just clip it into place like that, and that works like that. I've put the two little things in there, the two thingy bobs, and I use my tool that I made to tighten them up, so they're nipped up. So there's the needle, there it goes, just down in there. There's the float, there's the pin. This pin was a bit tight actually, so there we are. So what you need to do, you need to judge the height there, the height of the float above the body. I can't remember what the float setting is, but what I'll do, I'll go and find out where it is and I'll flash it on the screen there so that you can see it. I will come back and look at this later, but I just want to finish kind of going through the motions of putting it together now. Okay, so everything looks okay. I would like it to be a bit more immaculate in there, but it's okay. So with the float in place, and when you've set it to the right height, which I'm going to come back and do later, you can put it on, but you need a new gasket. So that this piece here goes over there like that, then you just put the lid on and that's it. Oh, there's a couple of other things. Okay, so that just goes on there like that. You put the screws in. I mean, you know, if you see a carb for sale, you know, at a swap meet or something, and it's like, you know, a £5 or something, you know, just get it, because all you need is a screw or a washer or a float out of it, and it's worthwhile, isn't it? You know, or the base or the body or a pair of jets, anything, you know, just buy them for parts. There's a screw. There's another washer. That wasn't a parts carb, I'm going to rebuild that one as well, but not delay the video to do it. The screw holes are a tiny bit tight. On reflection, I should have just put a tap through them, but I've just wound the screws down now. But better to be too tight than too loose. Okay, so there's just some linkages and things to go on now, these things here. It's got to go there, hasn't it? It can't go anywhere else. Seems a bit of a tight wind, you know. Okay. So that goes there. That goes in there. It's worth just pulling that back to make sure that it doesn't get tangled up with this. Okay. So there's the choke. So as you that's all right. So as you put the choke on, this bit here pushes back on that arm and pushes that bit forward to speed up the idle. So you get the choke and the fast idle. There you go. Okay. The only other piece is this piece, which I don't need. That goes there. Is it there or is it there? There, I think, actually. And that has that piece and that spring, and it just goes on like that, I think. Is it like that? Yeah, not 100% sure, but I'm not going to use that, so I'm going to leave it off. So those are those pieces. Looking in the oh yeah, these are the other bits that I've got left. These, they don't look deeply grooved or anything, so I think they're okay. Where do they go? Here. They go in there, don't they? I just looked down, I could see daylight down the holes. Well, see the holes down there. Yeah, because they go right through, don't they? I'm thinking about it. Yeah, those are those ones that are drilled right through. Okay, there we go. So that's in, that's in. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. That's 3 half turns out on those then, roughly, like that. That's a good starting point. So there we are, that's ready to go on the engine. Whew, okay. It's not the prettiest. I don't know what people do for, you know, cosmetic improvements. Maybe you could leave a comment down below. I'll clean these up, which look better. You know, you can put new screws in, can't you, and make it look nicer. But physically, and not physically, functionally, I think this will be fine. We'll find out, won't we, once it gets running and I try and drive it, which could be a little way away yet, but you know, never say never. That appears to be a bit out of position. You know, when it's off, that's off, but that's not vertical. So I think I might want to bend that little tag there, although it looks a long way out. Okay, I'll look into that. I'll have a look, see how the others do. I'll also go with a magnet and try and find the parts that are missing. Okay, thank you very much for joining me in the garage then. Let's see how the engine runs with this on it. A 94, gone through, checked, not rebuilt, but you know, at least inspected and improved here and there, and hopefully a good running carb. You never know, do you, till you try it. Okay, thanks a lot then, bye. He might take off.
You got it on the bill?
Yeah.
Just get me and Meg sort of, oh no, it's a bit of a, just try and, it might fly off any soon. Beautiful.
Look, watch.
Hello.
Look, watch. What's he doing? Has he seen a fish? Look, Sue, he caught one. A tiny little one. What's a clever bird. I don't know if I caught that, you know, because I was zoomed in. I might have missed it.